Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30 this Thursday, July 24th. Time to wrap it up for today. And so we started off this morning leaning towards the long side of the market, looking to buy weakness. Given the overnight and the little pop we had from yesterday's announcements, the earnings, I was expecting a little bit more of a knockdown, but no, they held up pretty freaking good and they extended. So we're still in stage one on the profile, still moving higher, still extending. Let's see if they can hold on to this going into tomorrow. We have our tech earnings coming out now in hot and fast, I should say, but it's a lot of stuff happening on the earnings side. So we'll see what happens, but at this point, market is still trying to trade higher. I would start off exactly the same way as today. The edges looks pretty decent. So looking to buy against the 6405s, the 95s, the 6385s, rotations back up. I would say if they start knocking it down below the 85s, maybe take off the long bias and go back range bound. So a little bit more aggressive when changing that bias if they start taking out that 85 level. That would be the mode of yesterday. But they're still in the move to the upside. So not going to be aggressive on the short side, looking to trade it from the long side of the market. At this point, that's kind of where we are at on the ES. Now, for looking at it's pretty light volume too. It's not a whole lot of volume going on. Now, the news this morning was pretty much, it was a non-event, nothing much happened. Or the jobless claims came in pretty much as expected. The PMI was better than expected. A mixed bag actually, but it was overall better than expected. New home sales was a little bit on the weak side, but it's nothing really which drove the market in a big way. Tomorrow we got durable goods at 8:30. That's the only thing we have for tomorrow. So I would start off from the long side again. Look, see if we can take this, see if they can move this higher in the overnight. I think given the tailwinds we have got going, I don't think there's a good compelling reason for the shorts to really take over. But you just never know when the market decides it's had it and it's going to be a little bit of profit taking coming in. On the bond market, we have range bound going sideways, so range bound trading on the bond market. Same exact analysis as this morning. Look to sell strength up to that 1326. Look to buy weakness down to the 20s, and that's pretty much the range we traded in today. So buying against that 20s turned out to be a good level. So that would have been a nice long trade there. Uh, Happened early on this morning, but definitely a nice trade. On the Nasdaq is right up here, butting up against the high. So Nasdaq in a spot where we're either going to get a failure, a pretty good one at that, or we may see them take out the highs here and start extending. So we'll see where they're going to go. But at this point, I would do the same. Trade from the long side of the market. Looking to buy weakness at this point. We're up against the 420, so we're looking for short against this one. That's your upper edge. But I would be looking at buying against this lower edge at the 330. Going to adjust it a little bit. And down here at the 300s. So 300s and 330s, looking to buy against those levels. I'm going to adjust these support areas going into tomorrow's trading. And below 300s, it started backing off below that 300 edge, this little area of interest. I think we are back in that lower range again, so take off the long bias if that happens. Looking at oil and gold. So oil and gold, oil is pretty much range bound, not much happening on that one. I stay trade that in the range, same as before. Gold, not able to get up above the London high, so stay on the short side on gold. I would look to sell strength at this point against the that ledge at the 385s. And if that 385 comes out, I'll look for a retracement trade back up again. But initially looking to get short against the 85s, maybe include the 89, 90s, but if both of these comes out, definitely stay on the long side and see if they can retrace this further. Otherwise, if the overnights are taking this lower, I would not be surprised if we get a run down here to the 3340 attractor area. So initially, that's kind of where we're looking for that weakness to see if they can take it lower. But if you see early strength, look for short setups against that for rotations back down again. Okay, back to the ES. I'm gonna wrap this whole thing up. So everything is kind of where we left it. Pretty slow volume, 650,000 on the micros. 800 on the ES, pretty light volume day, so that's kind of what we got. So anyway, we'll leave it there, guys, and I'll see you back tomorrow morning, Friday, and we'll go at it again. Right? You have a good evening. Later.